Right, so today we're talking driver setup. How do you set the driver up to the ball? Should it be toe up, level or toe down, and what is the difference? Right, so an extremely common question, how should I set up my driver? When the club's behind the ball, what should it look like? You're going to get, well, I get people asking me this every day when they're setting up their drivers, you know, how do I set up to the ball? What should it look like and what are the differences? Okay, so start with irons. So we all know that when you're hitting your irons, that if this is the ground as it comes in, we're looking for impact to be the sole of the club being square to the ground. That's so that we get nice even turf drag against the ground, and we know that if the club is too upright for you, that then it's going to go to the left normally, or if it's too flat, it's likely to go to the right. So we go for driver fittings, we get custom fitting, and we go custom fitting for irons. We talk about lie angles, we talk about lofts and things to make sure that that's right. Now, when you're going for a driver fitting, no one talks about lie angle, and this is why. So the key difference is that with your irons, that you're going to get a level of turf interaction. So, as the club comes in, it hits the ground, we want to strike down on the ball to get the ball up into the air, but you get that key thing of interaction between the club and the ground. Now, you don't get that with a driver because we're going to be hitting up on the ball, you're off of a nice tall tee, you're not going to get the impact with the ground, so you don't have to worry about turf drag and stuff like that. The clubs naturally, as we bring this in here, you can see there, it has a cambered sole, so it's designed so you've got an option as to where that is. Now, in terms of lie angle, the effect of the lie of the club in the resulting ball flight is minimal. Absolutely minimal. So if you put it on a machine and you change where it is in relation to lie angle and when you're making the strike, the deviation in the flight left or right isn't really going to be affected, because you know this is a standard length driver. I stand at 5'11", perfectly normal, and I use this club. But if an individual came to me who was 6'4", I'd give them the same shaft. If they were 5'4", I would give them the same length shaft and the same golf club, all right, to stand there and swing. But I wouldn't do that with an iron. That just wouldn't work. But with a driver, we do. Okay, so there's a couple of key things that you want to understand. We are not, when you're setting up, trying to get these lines across the club face perfectly flat to the ball like that. Reason being, if I set up and put the club so that it was flatter to the ground, so that those lines in the club face were square, the club would sit very, very upright. And then as I would hold it, it would go through the palm of my hand. Then as I swing, that's really, really going to affect the length that I can swing. It's going to restrict the movement on the way back. I'm not going to be able to get to the top of my backswing, the wrist isn't going to move properly. And similarly, if I've got that position in my hand, seeing one knuckle there, the club face is likely to come through open. So if I bring that in nice and close for you, you can see there that that's what it's going to look like. Open my hand out and you can see that the top of the grip there is coming through the index finger, but the butt of the club is into the palm of my hand. Okay, so we know that that's more where you want to hold the golf club, into your fingers, so you can see there that the club is coming through this part of my hand on my left hand there, and then as I hold it, that's going to put me into a much more neutral grip position. And if I hold it like that, I set up and the toe of the club sticks in the air ever so slightly, and that's fine. If you were on a launch monitor that gives you some club face readings and things, you're probably going to see that the toe is going to be up in the air by maybe anything from 4 to 10 degrees up. Perfectly fine. It's not going to affect the ball flight. So you want to feel like your arms are hanging from your shoulders and that you're not up here trying to get into a manipulated position, because if I'm too upright, then my spine angle is going to be wrong, my posture is going to be wrong, and that's going to have an effect in my swing. I know that I want to feel like from address that I'm tilting forward, creating plenty of width there, grip's nice and neutral, and the toe of the club is up in the air. And then as I swing, delivery into the ball, arms are fully extended, and then the toe of the club is going to be up in the air at the point of impact. So to stand there and swing, make sure that it looks like this. There, toes up, and it's a nice straight flight. That's what we're going for. But if you're serious about working on your driver and you want to get some club face for control for consistency, make sure that you check that video out.